How's it going, YouTube? Yeah, Pat Mack here, coach of the Sacramento Sand Slash, and I am bringing you a power rankings video for Thrifty Tussle. This is our low-tier league in the TGR server, and I am also joined by two of our other moderators here, Mister Marshadow and Fiat. Why don't you guys say hi?
Hello.
Hello there.
So we're going to go and take a look at the teams in order of their drafting, and then at the end we'll have my power rankings that I did ahead of time, and I've actually hidden them from both Mr. Marshadow and Fiat, so we're going to get some kind of legit reactions from them at the end of the reel. It's going to be a reveal to them as much as it is a reveal to you. So we're just going to chat about the teams. We're going to look at kind of 4 different categories: offense, defense, utility, and synergy. And we're just going to chat, see what we like about the teams, see what we don't like about the teams, and kind of go from there. So you guys ready to get started?
Yeah, let's go.
Think so.
All right. So the first team, they had the first pick here, was Michael, coach of the Tokyo Terrors. And there's his team. So, Marsha, what is your kind of first instincts looking at his team?
Can we rank the schedule so I don't fight him?
Oh man, yeah, it's the combination of Chansey, Shuckle, and Shedinja, right? Like, you look at those 3 mons and you're like, oh man, what a pain.
Yeah, and then I have, and then there's a prankster taunt from Liftoff, which my team doesn't like.
Yep. Like a combination of good fake out users, you know?
Yeah, so it's...
So there's a good amount of utility, right?
There's information from Arcanine, which is always nice. Not Arcanine, Growlithe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and we can mention as well that the Araquanid is really good damager here, so it will add to the offense, and the fact that it has also Pikachu, so you can hit the Araquanid with electric type attacks is very scary. This is a team to take care of.
Yeah, there's nothing on this team that you don't need to prep for. You gotta prep for everything, and that's really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think when I look at this team, one thing that I don't like about it as much is if you can deal with the gimmick of like Chansey, Shedinja, and Shuckle well, then I don't feel like the team has a whole lot of damage output. So like
it has Power Spot from Stone Journer, which is just free tough claws and everything on every move. Just a free choice band.
That's true. I think the power will be always onto Araquanid, so it will be the main damage dealer here.
And I think Guzzler
maybe
could put out a little...
Yeah, maybe Guzzler. But Guzzler is also very weak to... I don't know how many fairy type mons are there in this draft, but that's the only downside with Guzzler. It's very weak to fairy.
Yeah. Ice, well, really weak, but and if you get a good ice type in there with coverage, you can definitely do some work.
Yeah, I think like there's a good combination of things here. Like the utility, I think, is something that's like really powerful for this team. But when I look at it, the damage output feels a little low. I didn't think about the power spot. Like, that's a good point, Marshadow, giving everything like that damage boost. But it's also kind of a frail Pokemon, so if you take it out, then the damage output from this team is a little light.
All you gotta do is you gotta kill 1 mon, and then you gotta make sure nothing else dies. You should be able to win the rest of the game from that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
20-minute timer will definitely help.
Okay, let's go and take a look at the next team. So the next team in the draft was Edward, coach of the Colorado Rock Slides. And looking at their team, Fiak, what are your kind of first impressions of it?
Well, they have the best fake up user of the league, the Minshao. And also they have a very strong trick room mode with the Slowking and the Executor, Alone Executor. They're good. Also, I don't know, when I watch this team, I don't know who is the Eevee user. You can use it with Crocodile, with Magneton, with Porygon. But yeah, I think but the thing is that I don't think the output damage is too high here. It will be relying maybe in the Minshao and the Executor for physical and special attack. I don't know. I will take care of them when I'm preparing for against Aurochs. Like, yeah, I think.
Yeah. What do you think, Marshadow?
I think you got a really good singles team.
Ooh, it does look like a really good singles team.
It's the Slowpoke. I just think that's a really good team for singles.
Yeah.
I think the synergy kind of, once you get, besides the Trick Room core, which it's a really strong Trick Room core, don't get me wrong, but besides that, the synergy kind of falls off. I think this team can do damage, can definitely take some hits, but it's not a horrible team, but...
Yeah, I kind of liked it feels like the top 4 or so are really strong, like those Mienshao, Swampert, Glow King, and Alolan Executor. Like, I think those Pokemon look really good. The rest of them I'm not too excited about, but they also have their utility, right? Like having Electro Web from Magneton, Intimidate from Krokorok. They also have like another Trick Room and Porygon.
Yeah, and then they have Ally Switch. A strong Ally Switch user in Porygon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm really curious on how they will use the Articuno.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that too. I love Articuno.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to give them any strategies, but Magneton and Articuno are kind of strong together. Not going to give them any strategies though.
Just in case you end up playing against them, don't want to use it against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like this team, just in a general sense, like if it doesn't get Trick Room up, then I don't think it's looking particularly strong. But it does have a good option of like having Mienshao with Fake Out. So like Fake Out something and then your Trick Roomer is safer to set it up.
Yeah, and then Mienshao can be good if he thinks that your opponent's going to bring Imprison strats as their anti-Trick Room. You can Fake Out the Imprison user, because I do believe that Chandelure is not in this league. So you're not going to have to face a ghost type with Imprison.
I think Dusknoir might be, but there's not going to be very many of them, right? So like it's in general could be a good strat.
Dusknoir and Lampent. I do believe Lampent is drafted.
Yeah, I think there's another Claydol has Imprison Trick Room as well. But
yeah, so
I don't think it had any drafted anyone.
Yeah, okay, so let's go and talk about our next team, which is actually Marshadows Team, which we talked a little bit about at the beginning, but he's going to kind of recuse himself from this one, doesn't want to give away too many of his strategies. Do you want to say anything before we kind of give you the praise and also bash your team a little bit?
I've seen people use Fletchinder before, and I want to give it a try.
Okay. Okay. So go ahead. Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, what I see here is that you have 2 modes, so you can, with the Fletchinder, you can set Tailwind, very easy, and then you have the Trick Room mode with the Psychic type guy that I don't remember the name, the first one.
Yeah,
Reuniclus. Yeah. So you have these 2 modes. Maybe the Trick Room looks much better than the other one. And the other one that I look with care here is the Obstagoon, because you have Guts Obstagoon and you have Defiant Obstagoon, so you have to be prepared for both. You will avoid the Intimidate strategy against your team because of that, but you can just put it the Fire Orb to the Obstagoon and use the God strategy with it, and it will make a lot of damage. So I will take care about that.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. I think you said his slow mode looks a little bit better. I kind of agree, and I also don't agree at the same time, because unless I'm wrong, I think Reuniclus is the only Trick Room setter on this team, and so there's a lot of pressure on Reuniclus to get that set up so that Caparaj can output damage, or that Shiinotic can get like a little bit
I
more
might be
priority
wrong,
on
but I
Stun
do
Spores.
believe Rotom gets Trick Room.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I did not know that.
Rotom, yeah. I don't know Poipole. I never used that one before, so I'm very curious how.
I'm really excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, if Poipole appears, it will be very interesting.
Yeah, but I do think the Trick Room mode looks really good. Like those first 4 picks, I think look really solid. Like Fletcher gives the fast mode a little bit more like oomph to it, you know. And then Obstagoon just like discourages any of those like snarls or intimidates that could try to go after Reuniclus or Copperajah. So like I really liked those first 4 picks and how they work really well together.
I don't know if any of your team does get Rain Dance because of Kabutops with Swiftwing can also you have. I don't know if Shiinotic access to Rain Dance or Poipole. That will be a nice strat as well.
Yeah, I think Shiinotic does actually. I've used it in singles, so I think it has it in singles, but I could be wrong.
Rotom might get Rain Dance. I think Kabutops gets Rain Dance. Avalugg might get Rain Dance. I can check my pep doc.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm pretty sure Kabutops does. Like a lot of the Swift swimmers can set their own rain.
Okay, Rain Dance. Actually, a lot of my team gets Rain Dance.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that, or like Rain is also a good strategy here. Like Rain plus Tailwind could be kind of sick.
Rain Dance Obstagoon.
Be prepared for the spice, everybody. You heard it here first. He said he wasn't going to say anything, but he's giving away his tech. Be careful, everyone. I don't think there's anything else I'd want to say about this team. I think, like, just in a general sense, the team looks very solid. It has good fast and slow modes. Like, there's good damage output. I don't think we talked about that, but, like, Reuniclus and Copperajah deal a lot of damage. And, like, they're both pretty defensive, just in terms of stats distribution as well, which is kind of nice. So, okay, let's talk about the next team. So we had, I'm not 100% sure how to say this name.
NY Charizards?
Oh, no, I was thinking of the coach's name. But yeah, this is NY Charizards.
NYC.
Yeah, I'll call it NYC. There we go. So, yeah, so their team here, which, I don't know, the first thing that jumps out to me is terrain. With this team. Between,
you got baby or Uniclus.
What's that?
Got baby or Uniclus. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I was ranking the teams ahead of time, and it was around this team or maybe like another one later on that I realized I hadn't finished putting all the Pokemon in, and I had this team just in my mind ranked a little bit lower. But that Duosion pickup, I think, really like ties this team together to give it some more options. I really liked that pick.
Is that a Duosion or is that the first stage?
Oh wait, maybe I have it backwards. No, Solosis is the first stage. Duosion's the second one. Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, that is Duosion. I don't know. Double's just gonna be kind of annoying.
Double, yeah.
I've seen it do
Double
really well.
and Turtonator both are defensive body press user. And they can become very unkillable very fast.
Something that they gotta watch out for is that they have Grookey with grassy terrain with Pokemon that's quad weak to grass. So you gotta watch out for the stray grassy glides.
Yeah, or just grass coverage in general, right?
Well, no, but if you're gonna have grassy terrain, grassy surge user, Pokemon that's quad weak to grass, gotta watch out for grassy glides that might be targeted for that.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, like when I was looking at this team,
I gotta watch out for grass moves in general. I'm just pointing out specifically grassy glide for that reason.
Yeah, I kind of thought that Grookey wasn't necessarily needed on this team. Like, I think that Pincurchin can fill that terrain mode.
Yeah, and that Pincurchin,
really well.
you could go for some weird lightning rod tech with Halucha to give it the electric immunity.
Oh, that would be kind of cool. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and the onboarding, so Halucha will become fast, really fast.
Oh,
and I don't know, electric and grassy seeds does enhance your defense, right?
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think it's the same boost.
Yeah,
which is part of the reason why, like, I don't necessarily know if this team needed Grookey. Like, I think it would have been just fine getting Pincurchin and then picking up like another grass type or something else that would work here. Although I think Grookey gets fake out too, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I think.
That's not horrible. What does Pikachu do? Seriously, what does Pikachu do?
If you kill Pikachu, you will hurt yourself.
Yeah, that seems like the short version of it.
Yeah, you can build it really frail and just with the how's the ability called?
It's like innards out.
Inner outs.
Yeah.
Innards out. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: you got Hawlucha, and then the team's kind of like it's strong, but not really strong. It's fast, but not really fast. I mean,
I think Lucario does give it some good damage output too, though.
And then Hawlucha, but besides, like you're good at everything, but you're not excellent at really anything.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. I really like the defensive mons on this team, like Turtonator, Quag. Yeah, like there's kind of those 4 Pokemon there, at least in my mind, the Quagsire, Turtonator, Double, and Pyukumuku, that give like some really good defensive switch-ins to the team that I think I like. I don't know how much utility necessarily that they bring to the team, but I do think that this team can make some pretty solid switch-ins.
I mean, their utility is basically just fake out Grookey.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Is that their only fake out user?
I think so.
I don't think I picked up on that when I first looked at this team. But I would say that because there's no Dynamax, that is a bit of a weakness.
There's also no Intimidate. There's no Trick Room, I don't think.
No, there's Duosion.
Yeah, well, Duosion.
Yeah, there's Duosion.
Yeah, but Duosion plus...
Does this team have Taunt?
Not sure about that. Although
Hawlucha gets access to Taunt, actually.
Okay.
Taunt Hawlucha.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're here now.
I think Gardevoir also has Trick Room.
Yeah, and Taunt, I guess.
But I don't think this team necessarily wants to play in a slow mode. It probably wants to be a little bit faster. Although having like a slow mode with Duosion setting Trick Room
it's
for
not
like
necessarily having the slow mode, it's more necessarily being able to stop their team's slow
modes. I
modes.
totally agree with that. And I think they can, right? Like Eevee Duosion is going to be pretty bulky.
Yeah.
And within like a percent, I think.
I honestly never looked at the movesets of half of these Pokemon. Like Duosion, Pyukumuku.
Yeah.
Double, like whatever.
Yeah, but I think overall the team's like it's solid, you know? Nothing really stands out, I think, is kind of the summary of what we're talking about. Except for terrain. Like the terrain control stands out. And then after that I think they just have like some good utility.
Well, I bring Psychic Terrain or Uniclip.
Oh yeah, there you go. That'd be interesting. Okay, let's move on to our next team. So this is the Kyogre Canucks, coached by Rylect, and there's the team. Marshadow, what stands out to you about this team?
You have why do you have a lot of stuff that's weak to fighting?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You have Umbreon, Skuntank, Caracosta. I mean, Skarmory is weak to fighting, but a lot of fighting types get Thunder Punch, so.
Well, they do have like Slowbro, and I think actually Skuntank is only weak to ground because that poison mitigates the fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Have Sleep Powder with a Roserade. It's very nice. You have Charger Bug's ability Battery. That's just Power Spot. Dracula will be interesting how to use that. Fake Out with Galarian Mr. Mime is always going to be great. Umbreon get Fake Out?
No.
Okay.
No.
Gallade is... I mean, their main powerhouse is going to be Gallade and Dracloak.
With the Justified strategy.
That's good, actually. I did not pick up on the Justified strategy here.
On what strategy?
Yeah, that's good.
The Dracloak beat up into Justified Gallade.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of your power is going to come from gimmicks and weakness policy, I feel like. You can only have one weakness policy on the team, so...
Well, with the battery thing, maybe they will add more options to, I don't know, Skarmory. Skarmory is pretty physical, I guess.
Is battery?
Yeah,
I thought battery was special. Boost special attacks.
Okay.
I could be
I
wrong
don't
about
remember
that.
how
Battery
it works.
space power.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it will work like with Roserade, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be similar to the Tokyo Terrors, where it's going to be really bulky, but it's going to struggle with dishing out damage.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. Like, I do see some similarities there. And so I think Charger Bug is probably a good pick, kind of how the Stone Journer was a good pick for the Tokyo Terrors, just because it looks like their damage output could potentially be a little bit weak. The Justified combo I did not pick up on, but if you can get that off, like, Gallade is going to nuke some things. And then, like, Roserade has some good damage output, too, for this team.
Yeah, and then Sleep Powder is never a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, Sleep Powder is amazing.
Yeah.
Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, whatever you want to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't actually talk very much about those first two picks, but Umbreon and Slowbro are both super bulky Pokemon, and I think they can kind of outlast some things throughout the match.
And, I mean, one thing you could do is Wish and Ally Switch. Just healing.
Oh, that's a nice strat. I never tried that. Looks like a very, very
Unless
good
I'm gonna
strat.
get but I don't believe it does.
I don't think any of these mons have Heal Pulse. But they do
Yeah, I
have
mean,
they
you're
have
really
Pulse.
bulky, but you don't have... I mean, your recovery is Synthesis on Roserade and Slack off on Slowbro. And Roost and Skarmory.
I'm sure that Gallade, oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. It has Heal Pulse. I'm pretty sure of that.
Gallade has Heal Pulse, but it's also a Gallade. That's your powerhouse. It's not
Yeah, that's your
Heal Pulse.
damage output. Yeah, I do think that, like, the kind of middle three picks there, I think, give some good utility.
Gallade
And,
has
like,
Ally
there's some
Switch and Lucha has Defog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, like, the middle three picks have some good utility, and then like, there's some good, like, the first two and last two feel like some good like bulk to the team, and I think just in general this team could potentially struggle with damage output, kind of similar to what we said about the Tokyo Terrors team.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and take a look at our next team. So we have Tiger VGC and his New Orleans Ninetales. Fiat, what stands out to you about this team?
It's Nightmare Whack.
Marshadow's upset.
I can see a rotative Intimidate team here. So with Herdier and Toracat, they will really start hurt your physical attackers if you use both.
You have a Behem, which is a great Trick Room setter, but for what?
Yes.
What's your Trick Room abuser?
I think Aegislash can be a good Trick Room abuser.
I mean, Sneasel's gonna be really good at a Trick Room.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Hitmonchan, I'm not sure how strong Hitmonchan is.
I think it gives a little bit, like, it gives some priority, it gives Fake Out. I think it can be solid.
Yeah.
Oh, Marowak is actually really good in Trick Room too.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe Marowak and Cloyster with the Lightning Rod. Well, it has 2 months with Lightning Rod. So, but maybe, I don't know, another water type, so just to get covered by the Lightning Rod here would be nice.
So Moga gets not Lightning Rod, but Motor Drive, so it doesn't actually draw in the Electro move, just immune to them.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
But there is the, like...
Emolga was Lightning Rod.
No, Emolga's Motor Drive. But, like, there is the combination of Emolga plus Marowak that looks really strong, right? Like, you could have Discharge plus Earthquake, and, like, that's a pretty strong combination right there.
Yeah, that's actually true. And the Thibault, I really want to see how it will use Thibault. Normally, you will use it for the onboarding thing, but there is no... There is no terrain setter. Yeah.
Weakness policy onto Aegislash. That activates Unburden and weakness policy.
Okay.
And you could fling like a Lychee Berry that gives Aegislash +3 attack. You get your Unburden. Then you could do stuff like Snarl, do Taunt, whatever you want to do with that.
That's a cool strategy. I had not thought of that, but that is actually like a really strong combination right there. I think one thing that like
read archetypes, which
3. No, there's only 2 dark types, right? Because Torracat's only
fire.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Incineroar.
It looks like it should be a dark type, right? It just isn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But one thing I think that's good about this team too is that it's
Eevee looks like it should be steel type, but it's pure psychic.
Yeah, it looks like this team has some good like it has a good slow mode, and then also looks like it has a pretty solid fast mode. And I think like its defense.
Will have Tailwind?
It might. I know it has it for singles, but I don't know about VGC. But
and
that
if
would
it
actually
does,
make
then
this team a little bit stronger.
Meizong even harder to counter until I bring in Mach Punch Gritter.
Yeah, and like the defense from this team kind of comes from like their Herdier Torracat switching around.
Yeah, the main defense is just going to be swapping and Intimidate and just abusing that. And then Aegis / Shield form will obviously 140 in both defenses is stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. Yeah, I think this team has like it's got good utility. It's got fake out users. It's got Intimidate. It's got, I think it has Snarl. Yeah, it has Snarl on some Pokemon too.
Yeah,
like it has some good debuff options. Yeah, I think the team looks pretty solid overall.
Yeah,
it's just got good options across the board. Okay, let's go and take a look at our next team. We have Old Rum and his Middle Village Pidovs. Marshadow, what do you think about this team?
I'm not sure where the synergy comes from. I'm just looking at this game, and all these Pokemon are good, except maybe like Lampent. And then I'm questioning how they all fit together.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Then you have a ground type without a physical ground type without high horsepower. So you're stuck using Earthquake or Stomping Tantrum. And your team does not appreciate ground moves, so Flygon is just going to be a problem because you're not going to bring it very often because half your team is weak to ground. Stuff like the Aggron, the Toxicroak, the Voltund. Lampent. I think they could have been a better ground type for as a team. Pidim's really strong. Obviously, we should not have to explain that it has prankster screens. Lapras is also decently good, just supportive. Boltund's good. I mean, all the Pokemon on the team are good. They just don't synergize very well, in my opinion.
What do you think, Fiat?
Yeah, well, it has Boltund, so he may be the champion.
I will say something that Boltund has been the champion for the last 2 seasons of the TGR restricted, so I don't know. I think that kind of says something, you know? Anyway, I kind of cut you off. What else do you want to add about this, Fiat?
Okay, well, maybe we got to change your list. Maybe we got to move Boltund up next season.
Well, what I have to say is that the Sarina is a really, really cool mon here. Because there is no Dynamax. Right? Because there is no Dynamax. Wow. Yeah, it will just stop every prankster or priority move against their team. And it could help. I really like Centiskorps. There are some strats that includes trapping your team, your opposite mon, the opposite team, and just doing damage. But as Marshadow say, it's hard for me to say how their mons will relate to each other. There are for sure a lot of combination, so it's also difficult to prepare for. So I'm really curious on how it's going to put this together.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you have the screen users because of the Morgan. You can set up screens, so you can be pretty defensive. Also, you can also add a Perish Song strat with Lapras. I don't know, because you can be pretty bulky if you want. So.
Also, another thing I'm noticing is that Lapras gets Sparkling Aria that hits everybody with Dry Skin Toxicroak could be very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah,
the
normally
Lapras, Toxicroak feel like they have synergy, but I think kind of like I'm gonna echo the same ideas that the rest of you are talking about, is that it doesn't feel like there's a lot of synergy in the team as a whole. Although all of these mons I think are good, right? I think they all can fill a role in somehow, and they're all versatile enough to be the damage dealers or to be supportive in some way. And so I think like what Fiat said about the team being difficult to prep for, like I totally agree with that. Like there's a lot of different options and combinations that are here, but there isn't anything that like stands out as like this is really, really strong together.
Yeah. The team's gonna win just by faking everything out and not being able to attack.
Hey, it's a strat, right? It's a strat. All right, let's go take a look at our next team. We have one of our co-commissioners, Brave, and his migrating Milotics. Fiak, what do you think about this team?
Co-commissioners in this thing? I thought they were just mods.
Mods, commissioners, I don't know. It's all the same thing, right?
Yeah, what I see here is like
Purloin.
Yeah, well, Purloin with Rain Dance, my nightmare when I was in Feisty Friends. But this time it's not Mantics, but Mantine, so it will be harder. So Rain Dance, Tailwind with Mantine, and they will become the fastest team ever.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Alternatively, you do Sunny Day with Chlorophyll Blossom and Magmortar.
Oh my god, yeah, they have a really nice... Purloin is like the MVP here. They will be... There are cool combinations here to work with. So I really want to see that. Definitely the weather mode of this team is the most interesting thing. So you can you can do something like, I don't know, Jack Button Purloin, just I don't know, input the Magmortar under Sun with After You Bellison. But the thing with the Edged Button is that it gives you the free switch immediately. So, wow, I can see that strat going on. I'm not hoping to spoil the strat here, but that's what I'm going to
have a really
for.
good weather core, or I guess two really good weather cores. Just like all weather cores that have a really good fast mode. Their slow mode is Galarian Slowpoke. Not Slowpoke, Slowbro.
I think that's a potential
only
place that you could fight
Pokemon,
this team on.
so they might struggle against Trick Room teams.
Yeah,
I
totally agree with that.
But I don't know if Mr. Mime got imprisoned and Trick Room.
Ooh, it might. I know it gets Trick Room. I don't know about Imprison, but a lot of Psychic types get Imprison.
Yeah, so they could take care of the Imprison with that, and take care of the Trick Room with that strategy.
So another thing with Purloin is that it's a Dark type, so you can't Prankster on it, so it will always be able to get a Prankster Rain Dance or Sunny Day.
That's a good point too. The only way you could stop it is potentially like with a Fake Out, but you can totally read or play around that. I think that's pretty easy to do.
Other thing you could do is a non-Prankster of your own weather.
That's a good idea, actually. That could totally work against this team, because I do think the weather looks really good against them. But then they also have like Dugtrio to be able to trap things in immediately.
Yeah.
Like Earthquake Discharge, I think we mentioned that for another team earlier. Like this team has that too, and I think that's a pretty scary combination.
Yeah, they have a really good offense. Obviously, they have good synergy. Their defense kinda not so good. I mean, their defense is like that. Like they have 4 defense, and it's all good, but not excellent.
Yeah, several of their mons like don't necessarily stand out as being super offensive or super defensive, but they're kind of just good all around. Like the Magmortar, I think, is a fairly solid. Actually, no, it's more offensive. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. But they have a couple of mons that I think can kind of do both the jobs of being good
like
defensively.
Slowbro, no Pink.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's take a look at our next team here. We have the Eevee Eevee-Lights, coached by Ignite. First off, okay, I just want to shout out this logo. This logo is so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Marsha, what do you think about this team?
I don't really have much to say.
Okay, Fiat. Hit us with it, Fiat.
Okay, I like Mandibus and Oranguru pickups because they will control the team here. Mandibus got Tailwind, Oranguru, Trick Room. Both of them are really, really hard to take care of because they are bulky. And they can just manage the team to everyone. Yeah. What do you want to add? Yeah.
Whoever made that Eevee art should sell on a poster.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, Mandibuzz is... Why is Mandibuzz in low tier?
It doesn't have a whole lot of offensive output. It's fairly good defensively though, and it does have.
I mean,
Tailwind,
it also has Tailwind, Foul Play. And I think it's not.
Mandibus and Oranguru will be the disruptive one of this team. So, and then you can set up your Registeel pretty easy. Your damage output may come from Mashan, maybe Sandslash, and also you can. I don't know. I think Mandibus also can get access to Sunny Day, so you can set up your Biathlon with it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And Flareon. I mean, one thing that you notice is that this team has a lot of moves that hit both targets, so you can do that with Oranguru, Instruct, like Muddy Water with Wishy Washy, or Rock Slide with Sand Slash.
I think one thing that's kind of a weakness of this team is it's not so much that it can't output damage, but I think most of the damage output is going to be physical. And so I think like teams are going to have a little easier time prepping against this team by just bringing high defensive mons, or like bringing...
Or just Intimidate.
Yeah, or Intimidate, or their own like Iron Defense or something like that.
They don't have much anti-Intimidate, they don't have Defiance, they don't have Mirror Armor.
Yeah,
that's true.
So there's kind of a lot of pressure on like Vileplume to be like a pretty heavy special attacker. I think Wishy Washy can be special, right?
Yeah, I think it's a
mix. Yeah, I think Wishy Washy and Vileplume are the main special attackers. But actually, if you set the Registeel, the Intimidate won't matter because it will attack with the body press, and that's it.
True. It also has Clear Body, right?
Most of these Pokemon have pretty defined roles. Most of these things do one thing. That Vileplume is going to be forced into a lot of roles. You're obviously going to want to be an attacker, but you might also want to do Sleep Powder. Maybe you want to set up. Maybe you want to be defensive. So that Vileplume is going to be put into a lot of roles that can't all fill at once.
Yeah, actually, I can get behind that. I was thinking like it might be forced to be a special attacker more often, but there could be times where it's best used as a defensive mon, and then you just have no special damage output.
Yeah.
Well, there's Wishy-Washy, Flareon can be special, I think. I might be wrong on that one.
So does Carbine get access to Guard Swap or something like that, or Power Swap?
It might actually. I'm not really sure about that.
So
I don't know. Carbine's just really bulky.
Yeah, I think it has Body Press too. I could be wrong about that.
Oh man.
Iron Defense, Body Press. That's not horrible, but you already have Registeel for that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just think if I were to prepare against this team, I would probably bring a lot of physically bulky mons, and then I just think their team could potentially have a hard time breaking through my own. Which I'm not in this league, so I don't have to worry about that. But you know, for the rest of you, it's an idea.
Yeah.
Alright, let's take a look at our next team here. So we have Stranger Danger, coach of the Pittsburgh Celesteelas. And I think we're on Fiat. What do you think about this team?
Okay, well, he used Como against us, and it was crazy good.
It was so good.
So, it was crazy good. Yeah, I remember that. And also, I like the big, the sand core with the Hippowdon and the Lycanroc. Yeah, Lycanroc. Yeah, it got a really. I think this is one of the most balanced team overall.
You're taking a break from super bulky teams to teams that can actually do damage.
Yes. Yeah, so you have Tailwind. You have a decent Tailwind setter, it would be on Fizzon, which is not good when it's the whole tire. So this is low tire, so Fizzon will perform really well. Then you have Jellicent, which is the Trick Room setter for excellence. Well, I think you can play both modes. So, and we saw that what Combo can do. We can imagine what Lycanroc and Hippowdon could do, because it's like the fast mon, slow mon, both hit hard. So you can defend just setting Trick Room because Hippowdon will eat you.
Another thing I'm noticing is that your Trick Room core is double Ghost, and your only Ghost resist is more Peko.
That's a good point. So maybe Ghost attacks will be good against this team.
Yeah, but then you have
really good at Ghost type.
Then you have Fungus
and power. Like, I mean, Haunter will just wreck this team.
I think that you have Fungus there, and you put Trick Room. And if you are in Trick Room, you will just put everything to sleep. You won't be able to attack.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that too. Like, this also has good fake out users. It's got more Pico, Litten, so it's got some options there. I don't think we mentioned it, but the Frostmoth also has Tailwind, so he's got double Tailwind setters. And I believe
Frostmoth,
this is never a bad thing.
Yeah. And this team just looks good overall. Like, I actually think that Como plus Fungus could be a really solid combination too. Like, Como can use all of its moves that sacrifices it health, but then it gets pollen buffed up by Fungus, and then Fungus can redirect things to let Como set up. Like, those two look like a really strong combination.
I mean, I saw Frostmoth. I think, okay, so that seems like a decent offensive weapon. No, it has Tailwind, it has Polypuff, which is a good heal move, especially since Frostmoth has a lot of special attacks, so it can use that Polypuff effectively.
Yeah, and it also has Quiver Dance too, like a good setup.
Yeah, it can be used either offensively or support, and I mean, they're both good. It has Energy Ball, which the team's really going to appreciate. You don't hit water types very well.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's actually a real good point. I think Jellicent also has Energy Ball, so I don't think that the team is necessarily scared about water types, especially because it also has Water Absorb. Although water types with ice coverage could look pretty good against this team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, overall, like the team looks very good. It's got good modes in all of the different styles. Like, there's good synergy between the mons. So it looks good to me. Okay, let's take a look at our next team, and we're almost at the end. We just got two left here. So we have a Praetor, coach of the Machesney Park Slowpokes. Mr. Marshadow, what do you think about this team?
I mean,
okay, your reaction is kind of how I felt too. Like, there's a lot of Pokemon here. I'm not 100% sure what all of them do. I really like Diggersby. Like, it's kind of was my first take of this.
Yeah. I mean,
well, Diggersby with huge power will be a threat for sure.
Yeah.
And then you have competitive Meowstitch. So you won't
be really strong. There are not a lot of ghost types in this format. X-File is going to be really strong if you can just get a good position, just Specs Boomburst. Well, not Boomburst, but... Or Specs Boomburst next to Dusknoir.
Oh, for like the X-Cloud.
Just... If you can get that thing in a good position, just spam your Specs normal move. Because there are not a lot of ghost types and not a lot of steel types in this format, and rock types this team handles pretty well between Diggersby and Quillfish and Levani. That's Lavani?
Lurantis.
Lurantis.
Yeah, Lurantis.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that Helix does. Helix is normally a weather Pokemon for either Sun with Solar Power or Rain with Dry Skin. And I mean, I think it gets Lightning Rod.
You can set up things with that. No, it doesn't get Lightning Rod. But you can set up things with that. So, for example, if you have, I don't know, well, maybe Witness Policy onto Diggersby or something like that, you can use Surf with the Elilyze.
Yeah.
You have a really good with that. With Priority Tailwind, with stuff like Heliolisk. Then you got Dusknoir, which is a really good Trick Room setter, but I'm not saying your Slow Core. I'm saying your Trick Room Builder with just Dusknoir itself, setting up Trick Room for itself. And then, I mean, what did the Meowstic do?
Meowstic have competitive, so you won't bring an Intimidator, or you won't bring anything that debuffs your team, because if you put the Meowstic outside, they will break it.
Yeah, I think it's there as anti-intimidate.
Yes.
Alternatively, you could always just kill it. Not a very bulky Pokemon.
Nope, definitely not. Although I will say that like sometimes focusing the like normally non-threatening one, like I would say Meowstic is not normally threatening. If focusing that just means that the other mon can output a lot of damage. Like I think that's happened for me with Bolton in the past, like having competitive, not normally something that you're super threatened of, and you put it next to something that is super threatening, your just other threatening mon is
that's what you got for routing to Intimidate.
Yeah, and like if then Meowstic is able to get some attacks off, then even if it's targeted, like if it can get some big psychic, then it might not matter that much.
That's why Meowstic's not legal, because people use it because it has competitive.
Yeah, so
it's not legal in low tier.
Yeah, I think the I think this team, just from a general sense, it feels like Diggersby is really good, and I like it along with Fletchling. But the rest of the team, I'm not so sure about. It kind of has like kind of middle of the road Pokemon throughout, and like I'm thinking even like middle of the road for low tier. Like we look at some of the other teams that they look much stronger than this one does, just on paper. So I think like I think Operator's gonna be a little.
I mean, it is a low tier league.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think just
I will,
in comparison.
I would like to add that don't slip into Svilos. I don't know how to pronounce that in English. Svilos. Yeah, don't slip into it. Yeah, it's a really good output damage here. So it has really good output damage. And
I don't speak German, but I know it has a German number 2 in it.
Yeah, it's Svilos, because it's spies 2 in German.
I don't speak German. Yeah,
I'm learning.
One of the lines that has 1, 2, 3 in the names.
Yeah, ein, zwei, drei.
Yeah, same thing with Duogenes. Duogenes is Duo, which is 2. You got Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos. That's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I guess it's 1, 2, but.
Love it. Alright, let's go and start talking about our last team here. Last one before we start talking about, early, take a look at what my power rankings were, and then get Fiax and Mister Marshadow's reaction. So this is your team, Fiax. Do you want to give us anything about it before we both praise it and talk about some weaknesses?
Okay. No, the only thing that I would like to say is that I'm going to make Malamar shine. That's my objective with this team.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Alright, what do you think, Mark?
I don't know. Oh. I think I put a lot of memes together here, so let's see what it comes out.
Malamar is legitimately gonna be good. Contrary is just gonna be like really good with stuff like Intimidate, Gnarl, Electro Web running around. I mean, Counter Rage is going to be really good in general, and then you got Counter Rage Superpower, which is never bad, so... I mean, Malamar's legitimately a good pick.
Yeah, no, I think the team overall is really strong. I think there's a lot of like good combinations here. Like the Wacky plus Drifblim's pretty solid. Like there's an Intimidate usual with Mawile.
If you're preparing for BDSP, the team's great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like this team has no...
and Malamar are the only Pokemon and Cottony that you cannot use in 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because Taurus
That's right.
Gen 4.
Well,
Hector 3 Rapidash Gen 1.
Never thought of that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to rebuild it for BDSP.
There you go. Good strategy.
Yeah, your BDSP team better have all these... 6 of these Pokemon on. I thought your BDSP team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one thing I like about this team is that it doesn't feel like there's any wasted mons. It feels like every pick has like some good power to it. It has some either good utility or like good speed options. I think like one thing is one thing I didn't pick up on when I first looked at this is that the slow mode feels like it's a little lacking. If a team is able to set up Trick Room, then this team might have a problem.
Yeah, I didn't thought about slow. So against Trick Room, against Trick Room I don't have actually nothing because my wall is not that slow. But
yeah, it's slowish.
Yeah, I reverse Trick Room.
Yeah, I can just reverse Trick Room because I can reverse Trick Room with Malamar and Drifblim, if I remember. And that's it. I'm looking to use this team as a fast mode always.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because actually with the one of the strat that I want to put out, I don't know if so you be prepared, but is the Bulldoze with Malamar. Bulldoze with Malamar, I really want to try that because it will reduce the speed of your opponent. It will rise up your speed. And it will put Malamar in a really, really good position.
Yeah, no, it totally would. That's a really strong combination.
So I'm really trying to do that.
So I'm not sure how to go in work this Contrary. Definitely test that out. You don't want to be halving your speed because of Contrary.
Well, Contrary should switch.
It's bulky enough to,
Yeah,
but I think it's really good. I mean, stuff like Rapidash, Frostlass, Taurus, already really fast trick. Tailwind and make it even faster.
I think this team has a couple of taunt users too, so there are some ways to fight against Trick Room, like kind of stopping it from going up. But it definitely wants to be in the fast mode.
Yeah, I'm not pretending to play in Trick Room. So if I can avoid it, I will do it.
Yep.
And just stun spore your own Malamar to make it slower.
That's some interesting tech right there. I'm just gonna throw that out.
But I rather charm it. It's like,
oh wow, you could charm it. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't even think about that. That's kind of sick.
So many good contrary strats. Okay, let's see what Pat Mac thought were the best and worst teams.
Okay, so
worst. There are no bad teams. Worst
that's kind of thing too.
Worst is least good.
It's this was okay. So I'm gonna preface this by saying this is really tough, and going through and talking about the teams with you guys, I'm not actually sure if mine are correct. So I'm just gonna throw it up. Here's what I had as the top team down to what I had as the 12th best team here, and okay. So reactions. What do you guys think?
Okay, well, I agree in the number 1. And okay, I just checking because I took notes, so I'm just checking. So
he's smart.
That was a good strategy. I don't want to necessarily flip back and forth between all the teams, but the New Orleans Ninetales, that was like the Aromatisse, Aegis Slash.
Yeah, I think that's a really strong team, and I mean, I'm pretty sure I made you think even higher of it. So.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why you put Tokyo Terrors on Machesney Park's Slowpokes that low, really.
Yeah, I had
actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I have them like in the middle tier at least, because I took notes, but I don't made the power ranking myself, but I took notes, and I think that they can be in the middle at least. So I can agree with the
trio. I think it should be 13th for timer stalling us all.
Whoa.
In all seriousness, I think it's not the worst team. I don't think it is.
Yeah, this was really tough. I just I thought that if there was gonna be, like, if the kind of gimmicks of the Tokyo Terrors are stopped, then it feels like it doesn't have a good way of kind of picking up the KOs that it needs to. And so, like, Taunt looks really good against it, or like hazing of some kind, or I guess phasing. Yeah, phasing of some kind could look pretty good against it. So that was why I had it as one of the lower sections, because like the defense feels solid, but the offense doesn't necessarily. Whereas like all the other teams felt like they had like some pretty solid damage output.
And so after we're done with this recording, me and Fiat can go ahead. We'll make our own things for power rankings. We'll send them to you, and you can add it in post.
Yeah, I could probably do something like that.
Yeah,
I would be interested to see like another perspective on here, because I'm not even sure. Like, I could potentially switch around some of these after kind of what we've been talking about too, because I think maybe I valued damage output a little higher than maybe it needed to be.
I mean, I don't think that's wrong with VGC. Pretty fast-paced games, you definitely want to deal down, but I mean, defense is still definitely good, and I mean.
Yeah, one thing I was a little unsure about was, like, I have the Eeveelites in 10th place there, but I think Registeel is going to be really strong, and I think that people are potentially going to have a hard time dealing with it, just because the number of fire types in the format is pretty low, and like ground coverage can be good, but there's not that many special ground types, so like Iron Defense on Registeel looks really solid, and I think that like that mod could potentially become like an unkillable machine, and so that's also, one that like I really questioned myself when I put it there.
Unless you estimating the amount of teams that just struggle with Trick Room.
Yeah.
Almost every team either struggles with Trick Room, or I can just make them not set up Trick Room within prison and then use my fast core.
Yeah, there's a good amount of teams I think that have good Trick Room modes, but I do agree that like the teams that I had near the top have good fast and slow modes. I actually missed the Malamad team not having a slow mode. Like if I were to redo this, I'd probably put that team a little bit lower, just because I think there is like a very specific way to kind of fight against it that could work out pretty well.
Yeah, and then when I was reviewing the teams, all the teams have the TGR mode, and I was like, oh my god, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm gonna make my own slide thingy with teams how I think they should be ordered. I'm not gonna include myself in it, but just keep in mind all the teams are really good this season. So when you say worst, we don't mean it's bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah, when we say worst, we mean the least good. So,
it's very rare when the power rankings correspond to the standings of the league. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've never seen that happen.
That doesn't mean that.
I've never seen that happen.
That means that Marshadows Park Slowpokes or the Eevee can't go ahead and win the thing. Just how we think, and it's in a vacuum. We're not ranking the coach. We're ranking the team in a vacuum compared to all the other teams. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I think we'll go ahead and call it here. So thanks for sticking around. This has been, I think we're almost approaching an hour long in recording, and it'll be a little bit longer because I'll add in Marshadows list. And Fiat, if you want to send me one as well, I can add that in there too. So it'll be a little bit longer here.
Sure. I will send it to you.
Yeah, but then definitely check out the description down below. We'll have any coaches that are recording for this league. I'll have a link to their YouTube channel there, as well as a link to the Discord server. So if you want to come in and stop by to see how the teams are doing and cheer on your favorite, then definitely stop into our Discord and become a spectator. You can check out how the leagues are going. And of course, if you'd like to see some more content just from this channel in general, I do VGC draft leagues and I do singles draft leagues. So if you'd like to see some more, definitely stick around, like, subscribe. And is there anything you want to add before we can call it here?
And it will have my link, my YouTube, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I unfortunately can't record this league. I don't have a capture card, but I mean, I'd love to.
Yeah, definitely. And you record your showdown leagues, I think, right?
But I do record my showdown leagues. I do mostly singles, but I don't know. If you want me to do VGC, definitely let me know and I can do that.
Yeah.
Just most VGC is Wi-Fi, so...
Yep. Okay, so wherever you are in the world, if you're morning, evening, middle of the day, hope you have a great rest of the day, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah.